We're back. It's a new year.
2025.
Can you believe it?
As long as it doesn't go as fast as last year.
Oh, that was crazy.
I really like this period of time because it does feel a little bit slower.
Yes.
Which you kind of, you can feel like your foot's starting to like flatten to the floor a little bit, isn't it?
Isn't it?
So get ready for the school year and you're getting your lunch boxes.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy that we're back here. So tell me, how's the summer?
It's lovely. We went up to Queensland, Douglas.
Lovely.
Again.
Yes.
I feel like, I'm very lucky to be able to, travel to these beautiful places.
Yes.
So it's really lovely. Mum and Dad came. So just beautiful extended family bonding. Lots of pub meals, lots of dancing with cover bands, lots of sweating because it is so hot and fun in Queensland.
Yeah, I bet.
At this time of year.
Yeah.
It's super beautiful.
Oh, so nice.
Beach, no doubt.
Beach, down at Safety Beach in Mornington Peninsula. Again, good to be with Fam Bam. Couple of beach days. The weather's been a bit hit and miss, so we'll, but just generally, as always, here in good old Victoria, but generally like pretty good.
Chill.
You
seem chill.
I'm chill. I just sometimes I bumped into a friend the other day and she's got 3 children and I sat there going, I don't know how you do it. I got the 2 and that was a lot. It's full on. Yeah. I don't want to sound ungrateful. We love our children, bloody blah. But over the holiday period, it does get to a point where you're like, oh, it'd be nice if they could just pop into some sort of daycare for one day.
How many sleeps to go?
This is a lot on the parenting front. I don't know, any quirky things with the children?
There's always something quirky with the children. Harry's going through a phase at the moment that he's referring to me as bum head. And I'm really insulted by bum head. I also don't know where he's got bum head from. He also starts just rapping everything's bum and everything's bum head and mummy you're a bum head and daddy's a bum head.
Bless him.
I don't want my son talking like that.
Yes, how do we cut the
and
bum?
And he hasn't even been in daycare, so could I blame daycare for that? Maybe I'll blame his older brother. I don't know. Maybe I'll blame his father. I've got to blame someone because we all know that I'm always looking for someone to blame.
But okay, so my current one with Noah is what the heck? What the heck? Everything's what? And then it's what the... And then he was like, heck? And then then it's he changes it up every now and then. And I'm like, can we stop with what the heck? We're not doing that. It's not a thing.
Say
pardon. Nuts. Exactly.
Do you remember do your friends say that? I think my mum said that to me the other day. Pardon me. You say pardon. You don't say what? Yeah. You say pardon.
But the funny thing is he drops it at the perfect time. He'll be
with all your other mum friends or in a school meeting.
More in context of the conversation. Someone will be like, and you'll never guess what, how did this happen? He'll be like, what the heck?
I think this is a lesson in your kids are always listening.
They are 100% I am listening. Sure. Oh, you'll love this one. So we were all just together as a family in Safety Beach, having a good old yard. All the adults are chatting away. And then my dad said something along the lines of, but, it took so long, to be able to get, I don't know, he was talking about how the Mornington Peninsula is jam-packed with all the Melburnians over the summer. He's like, I went to the IGA down the road.
You're a local.
Yeah, I know, all those Melburnians, coming into our territory.
Spoken like a true Mornington Peninsula holiday home.
Yes, I own that. I do. When I say I own that, I do behave as though I am a local, even though I'm certainly not. But anyway, so he's like, I was at the IGA, it took forever, in this line trying to buy milk, what the hell, I hate it when all these people come, to our town in the summer. And then he's like, and he reiterated, he's like, it just took so long. And then my Noah's like, like the bloody council, or something like that. No, I think I'm going to cut that. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was so funny. Sorry, sorry, YouTube. You're just going to have to bear with me as I try to think. There was something he dropped, like the council at the perfect time. No, it's escaped. Okay, we'll cut all of that out. So I'll just go with, we've said what the heck. So it's so funny with what they come up with. But, look, and the other thing is you almost don't want to draw their attention to it too much because then they'll want to do it more say
it's
it more.
It's when you hear them drop the S word or the F word for the first time, you want to be like, what did you just say?
Yes.
And you want to say, don't you do it.
Yes.
But it's almost like, and I was, talking to a girlfriend about this too.
Yeah.
Ignore it. She's like, Liv, the ignoring's not working.
It's hard.
He's like, I need to teach
say something.
him that it's, we don't say that word. It is a naughty word.
Yeah. Have you got any like legit swear words hitting your house at the moment, or you're looking pretty good?
We've had a couple, like Tom just turned 6.
Yeah.
Definitely has a few in his repertoire.
Yeah.
S word, the F word.
Yeah.
But he knows that he wouldn't dare drop it. It's kind of in that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. He's kind of got clocked onto it.
I would hate to think that he's learned any of them from me, particularly when I'm driving.
They're not.
Like,
well,
we're all human.
We're all human.
It happens. I think, as with any parenting, it's just teaching right and wrong, isn't it? And it's going to happen. And, hopefully it doesn't happen. That's what they don't call their teacher.
And if they do, it's a good story. So, actually, if anyone has any good swearing stories, DM me. We might actually pick some of those up and put them on the pod.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I want to talk to you today about a DM that I received from a parent saying, how do you know when you're done with children? Like, as in, you've had enough children. So, it's interesting. Like, how do you know? What comes to mind when I say that?
You just know.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, I know that I do not want to have another child. I know that. My husband knows that.
Yeah.
We know that together. I can't point to a single thing as to why that is. I just know that I'm done.
Yeah.
Is that because I always wanted to, 2 adults, 2 kids, that was all. I just have always thought I would have 2 children.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe I've ticked that box.
Yeah.
As I've shared on the pod, dealing with the 2 little boys and a big job and all the rest of it is just too much. So I also don't think I've got the capacity to do love. I mean, if it came along, I would find the time, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just know in my waters.
Yeah.
Can I say that? I just know.
Yeah.
And then I think there are other people, and I don't know which camp you'll fall in, you'll tell us in a little bit, who perhaps don't feel as strongly as I know I don't want to have kids.
Yes.
Kind of like, I think I don't want any. Like that's for that group. I think you don't know.
Yeah. And you're still time will tell.
Yeah.
That's interesting. If I had a boy and a girl, I'd be done.
Yeah.
And I am done now, but it took me a bit longer to get to that point. And look, I think there's a lot of things, if we're giving sort of advice or our feedback around what we think or what we've heard from others, things to consider. One of the things is, to your point, we both have very demanding jobs and passions and things that we've got going on, which takes time away from the family. So if you add another person to the mix, it's like, do you have the capacity to love them and look after them in the way in which you would like to? Because a lot of people do throw the nannies and all the support systems and do it.
I feel really silly about having that as a conversation.
Yeah. In what way?
Like, I just feel like it's silly. And it's not silly. I know it's not silly. But in my heart, I feel like I don't have any more space to give. Like, I can't imagine how I would do that.
Yeah.
And I feel so silly saying that.
Yeah.
But that's just how I feel.
Yes.
Like, I don't have space for any more.
Well, this is the thing. And it's like, we want to give, a certain level of care and attention to our children. I mean, I, for example, when I studied in LA, a friend of mine comes to mind where the parents had 7 children. And so she had 6 brothers and sisters. Both were CEOs of major corporations. Wow. And her biggest thing, particularly when we'd have a few drinks in college, was, she'd get a bit upset about the fact that she's like, well, I was brought up by the nannies. Like, it was still a thing for her. Now, not to say, everyone has different experiences and things like that, but more that there are ways, like there's 2 people with very demanding careers who wanted all these children and they made it happen, and that was the way that they wanted to go about it. So, but I guess everyone has different expectations as to how present, and how much time and attention
what your family looks like.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I think fundamentally, I know that I probably couldn't give the time that I would want to give to my child with my current workload.
So just thinking about our personality types too and my planners, like, how would I get a 3rd child to school, daycare, sport practice. Scheduling. Like, that's just...
birthday parties, there's an extra child in the mix. Like, that's a lot.
How do you know if you want more kids or not? You just have this conversation. I think you work it out really quickly.
Totally. And the other thing is, like, let's not forget the financial implications.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it is huge, and it shouldn't come down to that on its own, but it factors in.
It has to be a factor. You know, whether you're going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 10.
Yeah.
There is huge additional cost in, raising a child and clothing a child and educating a child and
having a big enough car, big enough home, whatever it looks like for you. And again, everyone has different expectations around these things, but these are factors that I think a lot of people, certainly our friends and us, have really thought about. Yeah. You know,
I'm just like really in this. Yeah. Like, sometimes you can look at another baby.
Yeah.
And we all, especially when we're wanting kids, you would look at that baby and go, we talk about being clucky.
Yes.
I can't remember feeling clucky for a long time.
Yeah.
I look at the babies and I go, oh, that's a really cute baby.
Yeah. There you go. Like, you can have it back.
But, not for me.
That's a good internal way to tell us.
I'm trying to think of like what are all the ways
the
that
signs.
You can, when you're walking through the shopping centre and you hear a baby crying, how do you feel?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Or you see that parent wrangling how do you feel?
So you're saying that you're done.
Yes.
This is a real talk.
Yes.
Are you really 100% done?
We've even changed the healthcare from away from the maternity. So we've reduced healthcare and everything.
I mean, we're in our late 30s.
Yeah.
We talk about the window closing on having children. Do you think your view would change?
I don't think so. I think I've kind of come to the conclusion, because I've always wanted a girl, but I've come to the conclusion that, well, maybe I'll have a niece. Like maybe one of my, and maybe that's the relationship I was meant to have, because probably 2 of me in one household is probably not ideal. I can be the queen of the manor and, I have the boys around me. I'm okay with that. I think Jules is like, he always wanted a girl as well.
You can be a fairy godmother to lots of little girls.
And have a different perspective on that relationship,
And maybe in time, our boys, if they choose to, date a female, they can date whoever they like, obviously. Maybe we'll have a daughter at that point.
And then there's exactly a completely different relationship. So I think I've settled on that. That probably took me a little while to get there. I mean, our boys are now Charlie is 4.5, nearly 5. So, after Charlie, I was like, ooh, I didn't get the girl.
I have always thought that, you might. Like, there was definitely always more of a likelihood.
And I always wanted 3. So you wanted 2, I always wanted 3. I love the idea of like this tribe. And like when you're older, there's like all these kids around, and I just love that idea. But I think I've settled on the fact that, well, I'll have my extended family around me and Jules's family and things like that. And we've got lots of friends. Yeah. So that's going to be my tribe. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot to think about, even down to, could you do the sleep deprivation all over again?
Like, this is the best form of contraception conversation we've ever had. No, I absolutely could not. I just don't.
That was a lot.
Have it in me.
Yeah. I always said if I had a third, I'd have a night nanny. Like, that's the only, we'd have to have money stashed away for a night nanny, because I just
would have to win Tesla to be able to have all the support that we would need to just get through that period, because it is so hard.
You need a village.
I know lots of families who, have been privileged, lucky to have their first baby, and they're feeling like that. They might have been like me, I'm always going to have 2 children, but they're really thinking very deliberately around having the second, around lifestyle, how they feel, their own mental health.
Right. So they've got 1 and even just to go to 2.
Yeah. It's different. We all have these, views on and preconceived notions about what our life is going to look like, but you don't know until you are really in it.
Yes.
And, have your own health and relationships and, what you need to raise a little person, because, as we've just said, it's not just a flippant, let's have a baby.
Yes.
Which, typically it is when you're in your 20s and it feels like the next milestone step. You get, engaged, married, you have a baby. Yeah. It's a lot more flippant in the decision making as it is once you're really in it and have a bit more maturity about you, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And I think in this day and age as well, I think we potentially might see more, and this is just a complete, hypothesis, but we might see more and more of the one child family, or even zero. Where there's a lot of talk about that, isn't it?
Like whether that's your decision.
Yeah.
And there are families that are zero not by choice because of obviously infertility and real struggles around that. But I think there are lots of other families where people assume that it's infertility, but no, they've just made the decision and it's still very difficult to talk about in society.
Yeah. So. I mean, one friend comes to mind who has a demanding career. Not that you necessarily have to, but she does. She's got one child. She always thought she was going to have two, like you just said then. And she's got this guilt around, but I feel I'm letting my child down by not having a little friend at home. But then as we continue to talk about it, as that journey has evolved, she's sort of gotten to the point of, well, my child will have cousins, we'll have friends, we'll build, and similar to what I was experiencing, like, but I wanted 3 or I wanted that girl. And then you kind of, it takes a bit of time, but sometimes you come to a different conclusion because when you're living it, it can be very different to what you had thought it would be like, which is exactly what you're saying. So many things to think about. So for that person who DM'd us, hopefully we haven't scared you away from having any children at all.
And if you do, like, I always think that if I was to fall pregnant now in an unplanned way, I think it would be the best thing that's ever happened to me. And it always will be. You'll never, I think, feel sorry for having another child. It's just not something that, would be true.
I agree with that 100%.
I think if you're even thinking that you're not done, you're probably not done, and you need to, really get to the conclusion of that for yourself.
Absolutely.
The clock's ticking, because it does. And you would, you hate to wake up one day and go, actually, I'm 42 or 43, 44, and I, want to have another baby.
And it's harder now. The journey could look a lot harder than what it would in your 30s. And I agree with that. I mean, we're talking about planned, structured births here, pregnancies, but, and not that how much can you plan for, but, fundamentally, if that was a surprise situation, and we've got friends who have, you can think of a person in your life who that's happened to, and you're just over the moon and you make it work as much as we sit here saying, I don't know, like you make it work and it's beautiful. But, that's life, isn't it? So hopefully that was helpful, guys. And thanks, Liv. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.